So today is Sunday. It's in the evening. I don't know what, I think it's the 22nd. It's in the evening right now, getting late. Gotta prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Yeah, so doing the. Yeah, so today's topic is motorcycling. And I've been lucky enough. I've been riding motorcycles for a couple years now. I think I got my license, I think around 2014, around that time, if I'm not if I'm not wrong. I think I did the MSF, and then I bought a motorcycle. First motorcycle was a Honda CB 250 Nighthawk. Rode that, barely rode it. The spark plug was stripped, so I tried to fix it. I wasn't able to fix it, so I put it on the side. I bought a Ninja 300 and I rode that for a little while. And the reason I'm bringing up this topic is that I listen to a lot of podcasts on motorcycling, on motorcycles, podcasts. I watch some YouTube videos. And like I said, I prefer watching the motorcycle travel. That's kind of what I enjoy more. Like Ichi Boots, she's pretty cool. I've watched her. I've been keeping up with her, and some other one. There's also a lady. What's her name? On her bike, I think it's Kinga. There's another lady who does travel. I think she's in Mexico right now. And I've watched some other guys. I've watched some. This guy. I watched this guy with from Argentina with a little Honda Honda Cub. And I've watched some other guys also. I mean, just like I said, even just reading about motor, even ADV rider on just reading the content there and travel vlogs, and I've even uh, Horizons Unlimited. I've been to one of their events, so I like motor. I like it's something I would like to do, but it's always fascinates me about the motorcycle, especially here in America, because I think because here a motorcycle is a luxury item, so I think people invest too much in motorcycling and make a big deal out of it. To me, a motorcycle is just a bicycle with a motor. It's not a big deal. If you go to the rest of the world, poor people ride motorcycles. I mean, I'm not trying to denigrate anybody, but I'm just saying it's not a cool factor in other countries. Just people, they live on motorcycles. People get to work on motorcycles. It's just something you do. It's like a bicycle. It's a vehicle to get from point A to point B. If you go to other countries, people ride scooters. If you go to Thailand, everybody rides. You find grandmothers riding, younger people riding, middle-aged people. Everybody rides. So I think here I listen to topics about and of course I ain't knocking on any. I mean, I'm not putting down anybody's opinions, but I think over here we make a big deal out of. But it's because we have money. America there's money here, so people and advertising has caused us to there's advertising and all that. So people make a big deal out of buying a motorcycle, and which is it's a big deal because you're spending good money. If you're spending 10,000, 5,000 on dollars, but I'm just saying that people wrap motorcycles into a lifestyle, which to me, I've never gotten it. I don't get it. A motor, a motorcycle is just a tool. It doesn't. It's just a tool. You can call it an adventure bike. You can call it a cruiser. Is it different designs? They may be designed for different purposes. Is a motorcycle that can go off-roading. There's some of them which will not be able to go off-roading. A sport bike can go on there. A sport bike is more like on tarmac, on paved roads. It can be used on the track. So every motorcycle has its. But I'm just saying people invest too much into their whatever style of motorcycle they're riding. If adventure guy, I've seen And nothing wrong with that. Whatever floats your boat, it's your money. Like I've seen this guy on Instagram. I saw one time. I mean, he has this GS, and the guy. I'm not knocking on him. The guy can probably ride because I think I've seen videos of him riding. But if you see all the doodads he's put on that thing, it's like that's like a freaking $40,000 motorcycle. I remember even a friend of mine was telling me he went to a breakfast, some guys meet, and this guy, hey, nothing wrong with that. More power to him. I ain't knocking on him. That's his money. Hey, and he had a fully loaded GS with all the doodads, all the whatever. And I mean, that's like nearly a $40,000 motorcycle. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that doesn't either even if I ride a $2,000 motorcycle or a $40,000 motorcycle, to me there's no difference as long as you're out there riding, enjoying yourself. And people overthink things too much. But like I said, it's due to advertisement. Also, we are a rich country, and then like I said, over here, people have people have money. There's money there, and then also there's people who also have the comfort of the that's what they call fast world problems, where people spend too much time just going back and forth over stupid stuff that really doesn't make a difference. Ride what makes you happy. To me, like now I've switched motorcycles back and forth. I don't get it. I don't get the big deal. To me, I think it's just because we live over here. People live empty lives and they wrap everything. A toy becomes a contraption, something made out of metal, plastic, rubber, and whatever becomes represents them. And that's freaking come on. It's like a fridge. I mean, it's like you have a Samsung fridge and you identify with the fridge. What's a motorcycle is just a contraption you use. It's like I said, you can there's a beauty behind it, there's engineering behind it, but it doesn't make you as a human being. You either if you're not a human being to begin with, a motorcycle is not gonna make you a human being. Meaning that if you couldn't get laid before owning a motorcycle is not gonna get you laid. Motorcycle, you might it's a good way to get into a community. You can meet people with a motorcycle. It can open up doors for you, but you have to work on yourself. You have to be a full human being. To you come a motorcycle is not gonna make you something that you are not. So that's what I'm trying to say. So I really don't get the arguments. Me personally, I don't get the arguments about what motorcycle is good. To me, I don't. Whatever floats your boat. If some motorcycles I would never own personally. Me personally, I like. I'm not into adventure bikes really. First of all, they're too tall, so I'm not gonna be able to comfortably ride them. Do I like sport bikes? I do like some sport bikes. I've never had a 1000 engine sport bike. That would be fun bike to ride. The smoothness of a 1000 inline 4 engine also makes a big difference. So the bikes I've owned have either been a parallel twin, which and like I said, I owned a Ninja 300. That bike, it's limited in power, but it has a lot of things going for it as far as weight. It's low in weight, and it does vibrate, but not too bad because Kawasaki did an amazing job on that motorcycle. There is vibration, but it's not that bad, and it yeah, for somebody coming, if you've ridden an inline 4, you can and then you go back and ride the Ninja 300. Yeah, you'll notice vibration. Even me, if I'm doing long distance, my hands do get numb because of the high RPM, because the revolutions are high the revolutions are high on the highway. But I rode one time, they had demo rides, and I rode the BMW, the 310, their little entry level bike, and that bike was horrible. Oh my god, you could keep that piece of shit. That bike was vibrating all over the place. I've never ridden anything that vibrates like that. To me, that's a junk bike. I've ridden, I rode the Z400, that was decent. But that little G310 or the, I think it wasn't even the G. I think it was the 310 whatever, naked. Hell no, that's a piece of crap. I mean, freaking, I'll take a Royal Enfield any day. So to me that vibrated like crazy. To me that's like a bike for somebody who lives in New York City, who just goes from here to coffee to the Starbucks, because you can ride that bike. It vibrates all over the place. It's a nice bike for somebody, like I said, if you live in New York City or San Francisco and you just ride from here to there with your, from here maybe 10 miles to the coffee shop or to your hangout meet. Yeah, that makes sense. But for riding, hell, that's a piece of crap. So anyway, like I said, so right now I have a scooter, I have a big scooter, what do you call a maxi scooter, and I like it. Other than the weight, it weighs too much. The weight gets in the way, and that's the only thing. That's why I prefer lighter bikes. I find the flickability of a lighter bike appeals to me. So like I say, like right now I'm riding a maxi scooter and it's heavy. I can feel the, excuse me, I can feel the weight, and sometimes you feel like it's. The other day I was riding it with big. It was cold, and I was riding it with heavy winter gloves, and I felt I couldn't. I felt the I felt like I couldn't control the throttle. I couldn't manipulate the throttle as the way I would like. I felt like I might just give it too much gas, and the thing might get away from me. And it's heavy that in slow speed maneuvers, if you give it too much gas and it starts getting away from you, that thing, I mean, it's just, you're gonna lose it. I mean, meaning that you're gonna probably lose control and crash it, because once it starts weaving, or you panic and then you panic stop, and then the thing is bobbing back and side to side, you're gonna lose balance and it's gonna fall. But anyway, that's what I ride right now, and it's something I remember that particular scooter when it was new, and I remember I used to go see him in the showroom. Scooters don't sell well in America. That's America is not the market for scooters. But like I said, I don't care. I ride any bike. I ride a scooter. I ride that scooter. A bike doesn't represent me at all. It does. A bike is just an accessory. It doesn't represent me. I can ride. I ride. I have a small dual sport. I'm buying. I bought that recently. I'm putting new tires on it. Maybe I might flip that one because I need the money. But I don't really. It doesn't. I can ride anything. Really, a bike is just an accessory. Like I said, it's just something you get from point A to point B. I came from the car world, and even now, I used to be. When I was young, I used to be into Japanese cars. I still like Japanese cars. I have a lot of respect for Japanese products, even motorcycles. I wouldn't buy European personally. I like Japanese motorcycles. I would buy a Royal Enfield. That's no big issue. I don't have any. I really don't have any brand royalty to anybody. Honda, Suzuki. Right now I have Suzuki's. Before I owned a Kawasaki, I would own a Honda. Would I own a BMW? I doubt it, because first of all I can't even afford it. KTM, I doubt it. I don't even think so. Hell, they're too expensive, and I don't want the maintenance. Ducati, I can't afford it. So there's no point of me trying to get in there. And then also the maintenance too. So there's really no point for me trying to in a Royal Enfield Indian was like, oh yeah, I'd want a Royal Enfield. I can afford that. So they really, yeah. So like I said, sometimes your pocketbook dictates the kind of brands you can afford, and nothing wrong with that. And Triumph makes good bikes, but like I said, I can afford that kind of thing. For the price of a Triumph, I can buy an older. For the price of a Triumph, I can get like an older Japanese brand motorcycle. I can get like an SV 650 maybe. I can get like what is it? I can get a Ninja 650 maybe. I can get even a Royal Enfield, like a Himalayan, or even the 650 Royal Enfield. So there's a lot of options which would kind of, there's no point on me trying to get a Triumph. So like I said, yeah. So I don't have any brand royalty. I'll buy a bike for if I find a good deal, or right now I'm stuck with a scooter, which is a very hard. The Maxi scooter is a very difficult one to sell. because like I said, scooters don't sell well, but I got it for a decent price, so that's something I can keep. It is heavy, like I said. It's not ideal for a lot of things, but it's unique. It's different. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, when I can go many places, and I rarely run into somebody else with that type of a scooter or a maxi scooter. So, like I said, but what I'm trying to say is a motorcycle doesn't make you. A motorcycle is just an accessory. You have a tool to take you to point A to point B. It doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you a tougher person. It doesn't make you a good person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just, if you are a human, you have to work on yourself. You have to create your own. You have to be a human being first. You create your own. You create your own. You put in the work to make who you are who you are. Meaning that if somebody meets you and what they think, I mean, it doesn't matter what people think about you, but who the work you put in to be who you are is you. I mean, the motorcycle is not gonna make you a whatever. I mean, it might help you in other. It might help you meet people. That's always a good thing. It might help you. You might learn a new skill as far as working on them, as far as riding. Nothing wrong with that. But don't. I like I said, I came from motorcycles, from cars, so I was always into the cars. And when I was younger with cars, I think I didn't finish this thought. I used to be into Japanese cars, but right now I have an American car. Not a big deal. The affordability is I bought it because it was affordable, and I'm driving it. Is it as reliable as the Japanese cars I've had? I doubt it. No, right now I'm dealing with a leak somewhere. They're not gonna be as reliable. But there's nothing really. There's no. I don't hold any. I don't hold any really royalties to any car manufacturer. Some cars I will not touch with a 10-foot pole. Give me an older German car. No, I'm not gonna touch some Audis. Some of them are unique. Some of them I would like to mess around with. If you can get one like an old road with a 2.5 liter. I think I saw one with a 2.7 liter and it was a stick shift. So some of those could be interesting. Some unique cars here and there. Some Volvos which may be interesting. But the problem is maintenance. 240 Volvos, I don't mind. I had one. I don't mind that. So some cars are unique to are unique where you can mess with it. But some cars I would avoid. Like if I could get like I've always liked the E-Class wagon. If I could get that, I would love that. I had an opportunity to buy one time. I listened to somebody else's advice. He dissuaded me from it, and I regret it. I wish I had bought it. It was because it was a good car. It was a lot of money. Maybe that money, maybe right now, because right now I'm broke. Maybe I had an opportunity to die. I can't even that money. I can't even talk about that kind of money right now. Spending that kind of money. But anyway, so like I said, yeah, I think to me motorcycles buy get if you have the money, buy. If you like a motorcycle, buy whatever you like, buy. The problem is that you cannot get it. Like I was listening to on a podcast was saying you don't get many chances to test drive a motorcycle. But if you have money, if you have time, and also if you have and you're not tied to any particular brand or style, I would say getting cheap, buy cheap, and then figure out how to work on them. Because right now, like I said, right now, if I was somebody who's learning how to ride, I'd buy the cheap bikes like the Rebel 250. It's a cheesy bike. It's Rebel 250. The Rebel ain't gonna get you laid. It's a cheesy bike. It looks cheesy. It's no a 250 cc cruiser. Looks cheesy, but you can get them for 800, 1,000. Learn how to work on them. I have bought a bike with a similar engine. It's a very easy bike to work on. Pull the carburetor, change your own oil, change your air filter. That's an easy bike to work on. And even I saw uh, this guy. I think it's Fort 9. They modified one, and you can modify it. I mean, you don't have to go as crazy as they did. They spend. The guy had some skill where he welded some stuff and all that. But those bikes, they come up for sale all the time. It's an easy bike. reliable engine. Is not gonna, is not fast or anything. So I'll get a dual sport like a DRZ 400 or even the DR 200. That's also a nice little dual sport. It might be limited as far as highway capabilities are, as far as speed, especially the 200. The 400 probably rides. The 400 is faster, definitely. So there are a lot of bikes. The Himalayan, you can get them secondhand. Um, the old Royal Enfields, like I said, some of them are not highway capable. Some of them also, like the Royal Enfields, the older ones have had of issues with as far as being the vibration. So there are a lot of Japanese bikes which are entry level, like the Ninja 300. To me, that's the Ninja 300 is a perfect bike. I've had two of them, and to me, that's the most perfect bike for a beginner. As far as you're not a if you don't have a big size, if you're not a big dude, to me, that's a perfect bike. They're tough as hell. They do vibrate a little bit on the highway. Like I said, that they are not. I mean, forgivable. They forgive mistakes, or and easy to maintain. So relatively easy to maintain. They're tough. 200s don't get stolen as much as maybe 600s, and that's a bike you can buy and ride it for a little while, and even maybe sell it for the same price you bought it. And then the other bikes too. I mean, the only problem is that, like I said, you have to be careful. I would stick to a fuel injection. I mean, don't get a carburetors would be fine. I've had a carburetor bike, but then it only had a single carburetor, so I was lucky. I didn't have to deal with two or more carburetors and having to sync them. You can buy tools for that. Like I said, it's just tedious working with that's all it is. I mean, that's why I would go for fuel injection. And then also in the cold, also right now I have my dual sport is carbureted, and it's very cold blooded. You have to let it warm up quite a bit. I mean, especially now in the winter time with the temperatures in the 30s, you have to let that sucker warm up for like a 5-10 good minutes. You tried riding it after it has not warmed up, the thing is crackling all over the place. It feels like it's gonna stall out. So like I said, so motorcycling, I love motorcycling, and get into it. If you're gonna get into motorcycling, start watching the races. I watch MotoGP. Start watching the races. I've even traveled to go see a MotoGP race in Austin. So get into it. Get into maybe doing some track days and get into that thing. Don't just yeah, and then even traveling with a motorcycle. That's an interesting. There were days when I used to be more adventurous, and I did that. 2021, I went out for a 1 month on a motorcycle, and it was nice. I got lucky. It didn't rain, so I was very lucky. But it forced me to do some get out of my comfort zone. Pitching a tent for the first time. I've pitched a tent. I pitched a tent, going to places where I didn't see other black people. It was scary though. The first couple of nights sleeping in a tent in some of these like the first place I slept in a tent was in a mobile home community, and I don't even think that. I remember it was so weird when I got there. Even the kids came out to see me. I don't even think they had seen a black guy in that place ever. I mean, could have been some of those could be sundown towns. You never know. It's scary though. I mean, but the funny thing, ignorance is bliss. When I rode out there, I didn't even think there was things like sundown towns. And even, I mean, I'm telling you, the first night, I mean, pitching a tent, going to get some. That was a crazy night. And then taking a shower late at night. I was scared about. Man, I was scared. I was in the shower with I was scared somebody could have stolen my stuff, vandalized my motorcycle. You learn a lot when you're out there. You're very vulnerable. Your stuff can be stolen. It doesn't take much to when you go to the shop, somebody comes out there, takes your stuff, or even kicks your motorcycle when it falls, and then something breaks. Oh, so but funny thing, you figured it out. I mean, that's the thing. We make a big deal out of you figured it out. I mean, even me, that's what I want to do. I want to sell my stuff and get back on the road because, man, a human being, we have reduced a human being to just going to work, come home, getting into little, going watching YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. Getting into forums, arguing about petty shit. Small, very small thing. Once you get on the road, your focus is just. At the end of the day, my focus was finding a place to set up my tent, riding, keeping concentrating, looking for interesting stuff to see in some of the cities. And now I'd even do it better. So next time I get on the road, I'm gonna be on the road for a while. I might even do a year. I wanna ride, see other countries. So expand your motorcycle knowledge. Do travel. Get on a motorcycle. Park your tent. Travel. See the country. America is a beautiful country. There's plenty to see. Get out there, and don't stick to one. Like I said, I watch motorcycle racing. There's all kinds of. There's the Isle of Man. There's a. I don't know. I try to keep up with the Supercross, but I've never really. I try to keep up with it, but then I lose interest. But this year I might try to keep up with Supercross. There's the off-road scene. There's a BDR. I think there's some of those guys who do those whatever. But there's so much. There's a cruiser scene, which, like I said, I don't get it, but I don't knock on it. I've been to one. I went to one time. I went to a cruiser thing, and that's a good thing because me, mostly by myself. I'm a loner, so I go to everything. I go to all kinds of shows. I remember going to a cruiser show somewhere in some place where they had a racetrack. And man, it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, it was. I didn't see many black people there. It was redneck as hell, man. Confederate flags everywhere. I mean, I was careful. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. You gotta be careful in those places. But nothing wrong with that. I mean, did I feel 100% comfortable? No, I didn't feel 100% comfortable. But did anybody do anything to me? No, nobody said anything, and I didn't go there to make friends. I just went there to go do my thing. So, like I said, there are many different communities. I ride with a few people. I don't like riding in groups, big groups. I don't go crazy. I'm not a fast rider. Like I said, I had a Ninja 300, so if I went riding with a group with bigger bikes, keeping up with them would be an issue. I'm not a fast rider. Right now, I'm riding a big scooter. It's heavy. It doesn't take corners that well. I've been riding for a while. I can kind of compensate a little bit. Not to say I'm a great rider, but I can kind of compensate a little bit and still be able to maneuver it. I've ridden with a few friends and I've been able to keep up with them. And even then, when they leave me, the other people I ride with, they can stop up ahead and wait for me. So, like I said, I don't try to ride with people. I ain't trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to race with people. It's too dangerous racing on the streets anyway. These roads, there's gravel on the roads, there are animals. It doesn't take much to freaking a squirrel comes on the road and then you panic, or even a groundhog. Uh, you know, things like opossums and raccoons. Those ones come out at night, so you gotta be careful. Roadkill lying in them. Anything can, gravel is also something kicked up from the driveways. Deer, that's even a horrible. You don't even want to think about that. That's just a bad day. A deer will put you in the hospital for many months or put you in the grave. So, like I said, get out there, meet people, have fun with it, learn how to fix them, buy them, sell them, make some money. You never know, you could even make a lifestyle out of them, shoot some YouTube video about them. Just expand your horizons when it comes to motorcycle. But like I said, a motorcycle is just a tool. It doesn't make. If you are, like I said, if you are uncool before the motorcycle, you're still gonna be uncool with the motorcycle. You're just gonna be an uncool dude with a motorcycle. That's all it is. If it's not gonna make you meet a different group of people. Motorcycle is not gonna get you laid. Most young, I mean, unless I don't know the kind of women. I mean, the women. I've driven a motorcycle for many years. They look at it. They maybe I go to church with it, and they notice me because I'm the only one who rides, and sometimes it's cold. But come on, they don't know like they're falling up. They're not falling on. They're not coming up to me saying, "Oh, how you doing? Oh, you got a nice motorcycle." I mean, I get compliments. Kids actually will be noticing more. Kids will say something. point at it. Older dudes will actually, you get more older dudes talking to you about motorcycles. I remember one time, yeah, my camera died on me. The picture shit. I'm here to. He's telling me I've been running my mouth for too long. Yeah, so I was saying when I did that trip, the only people used to come up to me and were old dudes. And even one time, an old dude came up. I was in a what is it called? In a RV park. An old dude came up to me and told me how he used to ride a sidecar in Germany. He even gave me $20. I would get old dudes right. So, like I said, maybe you might, depending on the town you live in, you might get women who want to talk to you. You might get, I mean, you might get some play, but I'm telling you, generally, most women don't. They are impressed by it. They look at you, maybe depending on the kind of bike. Maybe also depends the kind of bike you ride. I ride, like I said, I don't ride any special bike. If you ride a Ducati and it's red, and you got a full leathers, or maybe if you ride a Harley, maybe those guys get their own play, whatever. Like I said, I've never really noticed much. Really, I mean, like I said, they're impressed by it, but even then, you have to bring more to the table other than a motorcycle. If you bring a motorcycle, and she might be impressed, but there might be a door that opens up. But if you can't hold a conversation, forget that. That ain't gonna impress. And then, like I said, today's today the world we live in right now, everybody's so distracted. Everybody's so caught up in their own little thing. Yeah, you might look cool on a motorcycle for a you might get play, like I said, you might get somebody's attention, but if you can't hold it, they have already moved on. Their mind, nobody's, the people, everybody's caught up in their own thing. So anyway, so that's my take on motorcycling. Let's not make a big deal out of it. The rest of the world, everybody rides. You know, everybody rides. The rest of the world, the motorcycle is the first vehicle people get because due to economic situation. There's nothing special. If you go to Africa, they have all these companies, TVS. You don't even know, people don't, they don't even have TVS in America. TVS makes a motorcycle called the Boxer. It's very popular. They have Hero. They make all kinds of stuff. They have Bajaj. They make motorcycles. So there are all kinds of even motorcycles, even other brands that you don't even hear about in America, and they exist. They have scooters of all kinds. I have a Sim scooter. They have Sim, which is big in other in that's Taiwanese. It's big in other countries in Europe. They make all kinds of stuff, different bikes, scooters. I mean, people are riding. People have been riding. You go to Malaysia. I've been to Malaysia. I saw they had all kinds of, man. They had all kinds of Yamahas, mostly Japanese, but all kinds of little interesting bikes, small capacity. Everybody there rides. Ladies, men. They use them for delivering food. So motorcycle is not a big deal. Let's not make a big deal out of something that the rest of the world has been doing for years. People deliver food with them. People commute on them. People do everything. Their couriers use them in the UK, and some couriers used to use where you used motorcycles. A motorcycle is not a big deal. Work on yourself. If you get in the scene, learn more about the scene, learn the history of the scene. Even me, I need to learn a lot more. I need to go back, read some of the history of the scene, and learn the history. You can make money out of it. Bring a trailer. I've seen guys now flipping this little flipping motorcycles. But work on you. Do what makes you happy. Don't jump into ask advice, but then also at the end of the day rely. Ask advice, but then also ask advice and listen to advice. That's good, and for people who know. But then also don't be afraid to go your own path. I remember when I used to ask for advice, they told me don't get a don't get a 250, don't get anything below a 600. I got a 300 and I enjoyed it. It wasn't you know this I think this notion in America that you're gonna get tired of a small bike. I think right now I think it's kind of dying down a little bit, which is good because I think it's played out. Come on, these roads are so dangerous. Even 1000 cc bikes are dying out. Why? Because where are you gonna use it on these roads? These freaking roads are so dangerous. people don't even see you. And then, I mean, what are you gonna do with an R1, a CBR 1000? Especially now the prices, with all the doodads they have on these motorcycles, the prices you can't even afford. These things they're 20,000 for these bikes. A 600 is like a racing bike for the road. They're nice. I mean, yeah. If you're young dude, you got a strong back. That crouching position, you can hold that crouching position. Uh, yeah, go for it. If you can afford it, I mean, insurance rates I know they're high on those kind of bikes. Go for it, buy it, enjoy it. But like I said, I think that obsession is because a Royal Enfield right now will do highway. Most bikes will do highway. Even my little, I have a DR 200. The previous one, right now I need to change tires on mine, so I can't afford to take it on the highway. I don't want to blow out. But even that one will do highway. If it's sketchy though, and it's scary because people are driving like crazy. They'll do that bike will do maybe 65, 60, 65. Somebody's doing 85 miles per hour, and a car will come up behind you, won't realize how slow you're going, and they'll run you over. So really, most bikes, a decent bike, in even a 250 will do highway. Is gonna be higher PMs. Is gonna be maybe a little bit of vibration or maybe some vibration. But really, this obsession with the big size and big engines, I mean, you get more doodads with those kind of bikes. Even an MT-07, that's a perfect bike to ride right now. It's in the range. The MT-09 is an amazing bike. To me, it's too. The throttle is too jumpy. I would have to go down into like reduce the power mode, go down one step down. But really, yeah. So don't, yeah, like I said, listen to advice. Like I said, but do what makes you happy. Don't take something. I remember the reason why I say that is this. I remember there was a group ride we used to go to, and I met this guy was a salesman for a dealership. The guy was new to motorcycling. I was riding a Ninja 300, and the guy had an MT-09, and this dude would take off on the straights. The dude was like a rocket ship. I mean, this dude, that MT-09 is a beast. And like I said, I rode it on a demo day. The Yamaha demo days, and I rode it, and that thing scared. It scared me because the throttle was so jumping. I'm used to a 300 where you can actually twist the throttle quite a bit before the motorcycle is picking up speed. This thing was so jumpy that even a small twist, and I didn't have enough time to get on the screen and then turn off play around with the modes, the ride modes. But anyway, this dude would take off. I was riding behind him, and as a group ride. But when we get to the corner, this dude scared the crap out of me. The first time I came behind him, on the corner, the dude, because he could not corner well, he's a newer rider, I'm not knocking on him. He could not corner well, so he had to really reduce his speed. So on the corners, he'd be doing like 20 miles per hour. And then the first time it happened to me, I didn't realize how much he had slowed down. So immediately I was right on his tail, and he scared the shit out of me. And the same corner, he did the same thing. And it's not, and I've ridden him, and I rode with him the next time. And it wasn't the first time. The another time I rode in the same group, and he rode the same way. So I realized he probably got better. I'm not knocking, but I'm saying why start on an MT-09, a bike that's so jumpy and so hard to control, and then you have to slow down on the corner so much because you're afraid of leaning it, when you could have gotten yourself like a Ninja 300 or something slightly more manageable, even an MT-07 maybe, even a Ninja 650, that you can actually is not as powerful, is not as jumpy, and you can actually learn how to ride on it and be and then you're not afraid. Like I said, you can take those corners. You're not afraid that this thing is going to toss you off or you're going to go into the weeds. So that's what, like I said, get a bike you can manage the weight, manage the speed, manage the throttle. And like I said, the newer bikes, maybe like even that MT-09, maybe you can reduce put it in a lower mode. That's a good thing about the new stuff with the ride by wire. But anyway, I've talked too much. A man ain't supposed to talk too much. Yeah, get what makes you happy. Motorcycle scene is a beautiful thing to be in, but don't take yourself too seriously. A motorcycle is just a contraption. Motorcycles have been there for a while, and they'll be there after. They'll be there when me and you are gone. There'll still be some kind of a motorcycle. It may be electric driven, so it doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you who you are. Like I said, you work on yourself. You make yourself a better person by doing the work. An accessory is not going to make you a better person. All right, cheerio. Enough. That's enough for now. Later.